Is it permissible to give the Fidiah to one's own children and grandchildren as an iftar meal?
As far as Fidiah is concerned, it's mentioned in the Quran, Surah Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 184, that if a person can do it with hardship, he should feed one indigent person, one poor person for every fast he has missed. But as far as given to the grandchildren is concerned, it's mentioned here in the Quran that Fidiah should be given to a poor person. So if the grandchildren aren't poor or the children aren't poor, you can't give Fidiah to them. They should be poor. If they're rich, then you cannot give. Point number 2, Fidiah is somewhat like zakat. Zakat you can't give to a person who's dependent. So the children are dependent to the father, even the grandchildren are dependent. So but natural in this context, Fidiah cannot be given to the children and the grandchildren. And the third point to be noted is that if the person is very poor and the children are not dependent on the father or the grandfather because he's so poor, he doesn't have money to look after them, only in that case, as the last resort, he can give Fidiah to the grandchildren or children based on the hadith of Sahih Bukhari, volume number 3, book of fasting, hadith number 1936. When a person comes to the Prophet, he gives the basket of dates to him and says that feed it to the poor people. So he says that should I give it to someone who's poorer than me and my family? Prophet says yes. So he says, by Allah, I do not know of anyone, any family who's poorer than my family between the two mountains of Medina. So the Prophet smiles where Mola can be seen and he says, okay, feed your family. So in this case, where the family is very poor and they are dependent on the father or the grandfather, in this case, as a last resort, it can be given as Fidiah to the children and grandchildren. As far as saying it's a iftar party, that's not a problem at all. But the general ruling is, it cannot be given to the rich people. As a last resort, if they're really poor, it can be given.